Hi, I'm here with Coach Sam Whalen of the Rockford Ambassadors. We're going to be breaking down the first Inferno group. First, we're going to be looking at the Santa Ana Shepherds. Last year, they were ranked number 7. They lost their 3 front court starters. They lost Charles Waldrop, who you all know as a first-team All-American multiple years. He won league MVP as a sophomore. He's a fantastic talent. He's going to be really difficult to replace. They also lost Paul Lundy, who was an all-conference player, and Edward Hawkins, who was another starter. They're going to be good. They're going to be real good, but losing those players is going to hurt.
Yeah, I look at Santa Ana, their freshman class this year. Not too impressive, very middle of the pack, followed by that sophomore class that's just terrible. Right now they have Richard Crum. The computer has them has him in the starting lineup. I don't think that these guys are going to fit in as well as they could. I think that Santa Ana's glory days are not going to be repeated this year.
Yeah, I see them dropping from about 7 in the ranking to, in Conference 30, you could drop as far as 100 points if you lose a good class and don't bring in a good one. They don't have much height this year. I think that's going to be the case. They're not even going to really be competing for an Inferno playoff spot, and they might not even be an NTT team.
They lost great players, brought in average ones. So.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at our next team. It's the Evansville Aces. Last year they were ranked number 46. Previous year they were ranked number 2. They have a good program going. Dre's a very good coach in League 5 and League 15 also. Last season they had Henry Sellers, who graduated, their 7-1 senior. He pulled in a lot of boards, played solid defense down low. But besides that, they lost an NA guy and a backup power forward. So they're not losing too much. They have a lot of talent returning.
Yeah, and if Evansville's going to do it, this is going to be the year where they really step up and play. They have an amazing senior class right now with Numbers and McCoy, and their freshmen are good. 59-48 class. We'll see how well Ronald Hart can fit in. I think he's a great freshman, a great young talent coming in. The other guys I'm not too familiar with, to be honest, but I think they really will be able to find their niche this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what about Evansville. They're going to compete. They always compete. They could make the Inferno playoffs. They could make a dream run, but I don't expect them to be a competitor for the Inferno championship. They'll be a solid NTT team again. Might win a game or two, but that's about it. That's about what we can expect. The next team, we're looking at the Toledo Tumbleweeds. They have an incredible sophomore class. We're talking about Anthony Shed. Actually, I guess they're juniors now.
Anthony Shed.
Yeah, he's very good. So he's a junior now. They lost Frederick Ely, who was their first or second best player. He's huge. They lost their point guard, good ball handler, good captain on the floor, and they lost an NA guy. So they should be returning a lot of talent again, especially with that 2-4 junior class.
Yeah, in freshman class, another really solid class for Toledo and Coach Jay. Christopher Qualls, interesting name. His last name's kind of awkward, but he's a great player. That last name's not going to stop him doing anything. Samuel Stone, another guy who Rockford was looking at. Very good backup guard. He'll never be a starter, never be a great starter, but he's a great backup guard. One of the best backups in the nation, I'd say. That's a little bit bold of a statement, but I really like Toledo this year. Tons of confidence in them.
I don't have as much confidence in him. Coach Jay's a great coach.
I really do.
He always makes him compete. He's in the tough Conference 20. He might not make the NTT because of that. He has an NTT quality team, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking at their team. They only have 2 guys above 6'7". They're going to be starting a 6'7" power forward. This group has a lot of balance. I think they could make the playoffs, but I don't think they're the favorite by any means. Next team we've got is the Allentown Deadeyes. Coach Andy always builds very defensive teams. Last season, not so much because they lost all those players the year before, and it looks like they're losing 3 starters. I apologize. I got that wrong. They started 3 seniors on senior night. Very respectable, very honorable. Good job. Good job, Coach Andy. Anyways, last season they had a 51 power rank, and their sophomore class is incredible. But they're losing Johnny Merkley, who was a good backup. Daniel May, good backup. Alan Tao, good backup. They're returning 5 very good players, though.
Alan Town actually was a starter. He was great Alan Toe, but I'm extremely saddened to see him leave because I thought it was amazing to have a guy named Alan Toe on Allentown because you add an end to that last
That's
name.
amazing.
And his team.
That was probably intentional.
Name,
He may have even named him himself.
Whatever it was, Coach Andy, great pickup there. These freshmen, very average. They may be a little bit underrated. But John Dotson, Very good defender, very good rebounder, 6'3". Doesn't help him out that much, but he'll be a great backup. I'd like to see him a backup point guard. But you know what? These guys just don't impress me too much.
I feel the complete opposite. I think Coach Andy really has something going with his program.
I love Andres Johnson.
Yeah, he plays real hard ball. The whole team plays real hard ball. I look at their starters. They have real good starters. Not such a deep team, but Andres Johnson, he could be a first-team All-Inferno player. They got a 6'10 point guard. The computer has a 6'10 point guard starting. That tells you how much height they have. They have a lot of height. They have a lot of guys who can defend. They have a lot of guys who can score. I think they're going to be tough to beat.
They're going to be a little bit slow starting out, I feel like.
Okay, we'll
that's
see.
What I feel like. Yeah, we will. That's why we do this, huh?
And then finally, we've got the Macon Goobers. Everyone knows the Macon Goobers. They're a very good team.
Yeah.
They came into the NTT way hyped up with Tiny Timothy Adams leading the way. They disappointed a little bit, but they have a good program and they're going to bounce back from that. Like I said, they lost Timothy Adams. They lost two solid bench players, but Timothy Adams is really going to hurt. He might be the hardest player to replace in this in the whole Inferno.
Yeah, losing Timothy Adams is huge. I love Raymond Coleman. Other two guys I couldn't care much about at all. Steven Deniston and Anthony Osborne. Very average, going to be backups most of their
Another mediocre freshman class.
Yeah, it doesn't impress me too much. But you know what? I just don't see these guys do too much without Timothy Adams, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they were ranked 17 last season, so they definitely have hope. I mean, they returned Caleb Firestone, who everyone knows is an All-American candidate.
Yeah.
They returned Patrick Fisher, who I think stepping up into a bigger role now that Adams is gone, he could be a very good player. But besides that, I don't see too much. They'll compete to make the playoffs, but they're not a big challenger.
It'll be the Firestone and Fisher show for these guys, definitely.
Yep, so there's your 5 teams. Sam, who do you think's going to win in this group?
Bobby, let's look through them again just so I can kind of think about this.
Yeah, I already closed out a couple of them. I closed out Santa Ana. You got Santa Ana, Evansville, Toledo, Allentown, and Macon.
Yeah, well, you know what? I know you have no hope in Toledo. I think they're going to be doing all right. I like some of their guys. They have, or was I the one who said that? Yeah. I like Anthony Shedd. He's still over there. He's over there with Toledo. I also like Evansville. I don't think you like them that much, Bobby.
They're all good teams. They could all win it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has more than a 30% chance.
I have tremendous hope in Eric McCoy. He's an amazing player. I think he's going to really lead Evansville to good places this tournament.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I think Allentown's going to be tough to beat. I got Allentown winning this group.
All right. I have Toledo or Evansville. I know that's not what you guys want to hear from me, not to pick a clear favorite, but I want to see I think that Allentown will go down. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That's our first group. Thanks for joining us, Sam.
Yeah. You too, Bobby.
Player of the group.
Eric McCoy, player of the group.
You'll get it up like
spinning. So who do you think?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
You can throw that in the middle, right?
Can we cut it out?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can cut it. If you're in the same spot, so it's not.
Yeah.
So, Sam, who do you think is going to be the player of the group?
Bobby, like I just said, Eric McCoy, I think, is going to just come out strong in his senior season. I've always loved this guy. Great player all around.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Caleb Firestone could really do it, but my man's Andres Johnson.
I love Andres.
I remember him in high school. He was one of the best players in his class. He hasn't really had a chance to bust out, but I think this is the year that he really makes his mark in Conference 1.
All right.